Once again, Radina, thank you so much for your time today. I know you're very busy, but we truly, truly appreciate your presence today. So this is just, very, I would say, informal conversation. We just really want to hear your real experience with DocVA and your hired virtual assistant. So let's start, Radina. So can you just please share your full name and practice or the specialty you're in, your
Mhm.
location, and how long has the practice been running in the business or in the industry?
All right. My name is Radina Veliova. I am a speech language pathologist with a specialty in voice therapy. I'm in Los Angeles. I run a private practice in the heart of LA in Culver City. The practice has been operated maybe for, let's see, 2 years or so, not even quite 2 years. I, it was quickly growing, and that's when I decided to hire a virtual assistant. And initially, I wasn't sure if I can fill a full-time schedule, if part-time was enough. Then I found DocVA. I found you guys on the internet on Google, and I had my first meeting with one of your representatives, and I felt really understood. And I think that the candidates that you guys prepared were all amazing. I picked the candidate that I thought had the most drive, that fitted my personality, that fitted the company, that had the skills that I was looking for, and that was Sam. That is Sam. I think she has been amazing throughout this whole experience. We've been growing together, growing the practice together, and growing as humans in our skills and our collaborations. So it's been a very rewarding journey.
Those are like big words for us. Thank you so much, Regina. Before you actually found DocVA and before you work with your virtual assistant here with DocVA, what were the challenges or pain points you were experiencing in your practice or in your operations?
I mean, quite frankly, I was drowning. To kind of express the feeling, I was just overwhelmed with administrative tasks that did not really allow me to focus on patient care, on company growth, on strategy, on hiring other therapists and supervising them. And I think, yeah, without Sam, I would have not been able to grow the team, to grow the practice, to be the therapist that I am, just because there was just too many, I was juggling just too many things. And I'm so glad that I hired her full time and not part time. Because I was initially thinking, will I be able? And now I feel like, well, I need a second VA soon, just because it's been very busy. And I think, yeah, throughout the time, we've just expanded the area of responsibilities that Sam is now having. And, she's been really taking on feedback very well. She's always trying to accommodate me, think ahead, and I really, really value that in Sam. She's amazing.
And you did mention about expanding, right? Responsibilities. Can you tell us and share to our viewers the responsibilities that Sam has been doing for you and for the company, of course?
So I think initially it started with administrative tasks such as onboarding new patients. We started a little bit with some insurance billing. Then we expanded it to more extensive insurance billing. Now she basically bills insurance for us. She does now all the scheduling. She picks up the phone. So, we have now, I think, 5 therapists where she manages their schedule, reschedules, onboards new patients, again, billing. And then in addition to that, there are some one-off tasks, marketing tasks, research tasks that just pop up. And yeah, we always, I think anytime when I write my to-do list, gotten into the habit of going over it and seeing, okay, what does really need my attention versus what can Sam do? And it's been a game changer for me, really, to be able to free up some of my time for the things that I'm good at and that I'm supposed to do so that Sam can do the things that she is great at. And she can really take so much off my plate.
Seems like she's been wearing so many hats.
Yeah.
And that's why you're hiring another virtual assistant. So thank you so much for sharing that. Can you tell us for sure. You did mention that you were thinking about just part time. Now you're happy that, you decided to hire her for a full time position. What would you advise to these, doctors, providers, practice owners who are on the fence of hiring a virtual assistant?
I think honestly, if you take the time to train the person, if you take your time during the interviewing process, that goes a long way with time because I really interviewed from DocVA people. I also interviewed from other companies. And at the end, I felt really, really comfortable with the decision to go with Sam. And I'm so glad I did. And then also throughout the training process, we initially had meetings every 2 days, right? And it was more time investment on my end, but it was well worth it because now we do checkup meetings when we text all the time and we email, but I know that Sam has got my back and we do longer meetings when we have any changes or any new implementation happening. But other than that, she's very independent and really a self-starter when it comes to her thought process. So yeah, retrospectively, I'm really glad that I hired her full time. And I think initially my worry was, will I be able to even have that many tasks? And, I think I was just not in the habit of delegating as much. And that's a habit that I learned as well with time. That's why I say we both are growing because, I think I also needed to learn to train someone and trust them that they can do the work and I don't have to do everything.
You just love what you said about delegating, that you've learned to start delegating and just do what you do best, right? And that's why we have Sam for you and, additional virtual assistants. So, can you tell us why would you recommend DocVA? Because you did mention that you've also interviewed with other companies. Now, why DocVA?
I felt very supported. I felt like genuinely you were caring about me, about the practice, about your people. I was one of my worries. I did not want to feel like I'm unethical with the pay. And Doc VA was on the higher side, and I like that honestly. I wanted my VA to, I mean, she's up all night working for me. I wanted her to be paid adequately for that. And I think that was for me one of the big things that Doc VA just seemed like you guys really care about your employees. You always check in with me on a monthly basis, and we, have feedback meetings with Sam. Always someone asks me, how are things going, if there's any training. You do also continue training your VAs. So I've definitely seen Sam's Excel and Word and Microsoft Office skills improve throughout the time. So I'm sure that she had some additional training. That felt very supported.
We definitely sincerely appreciate your time today. But is there anything else that you would like to share before we end our conversation?
I want to say thank you through Sam to the whole DocVA team for your support. I think I wouldn't be able to grow into the vision if it wasn't with you guys. It takes a village, really, right?
You. And then just remember, because you really love Sam, right? Because you said that you've also interviewed with another company, but you really felt that it's really Sam. What is it with Sam that you like the most during interview stage, during that process? Like what
Sam
credentials she
said one
has, what
thing.
experience? Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sam said one thing that was very important to me. Well, two things, I think. First of all, I think Sam was the only person where I truly believed that she enjoys working at night, or at least doesn't mind it as much. Because I know that must be difficult. So with Sam, she's told me she actually is up all night and she likes working at night. And somehow with her life circumstances, I did believe that. And I thought, okay, I think, this girl will not suffer through being up at nights, even though I'm sure it's sometimes hard, very hard to be up all night. And then the second thing that really stood out for me was that Sam talked about, in a previous position about working independently and kind of seeing things before they might become a problem. And I really needed and wanted someone who can work independently and anticipate, tasks rather than always waiting for me because, I'm not in the same room. I'm not in the same country, right? We are far away. I'm not going to check on every move. So I sometimes don't know, is she too busy? Is she not busy enough? And, I ask her, but I think with Sam, I had the feeling that she'll manage her schedule. She will let me know when it's overwhelming. And at the same time, she will also let me know when she does have capacity for more. And, that was just huge for me.
So consensually transparency, integrity, and true collaboration with you, right? So
Hmm.
that's just so I would say wonderful to hear from you, and we're just so blessed to have you, Regina. And you just mentioned about really making sure that she's well paid, and yes, we even provide healthcare insurance to our virtual assistants, and we're just so happy to hear great feedback from Sam as well regarding how you take care of her, how you provide training. So thank you so much for doing that for Sam and of course for your next virtual assistant.
Thank you.
All right, Regina, well, thank you so much for your time today. Enjoy the rest of the day and have a
You
lovely
too.
weekend too. All right, let's
Thank
do.
you. You
Thanks.
too.
Bye for now,
Bye.
Regina.